What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and once again I am joined with
Gershwan
to give you an awesome Q&A entitled For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below, put question in front of your question because we get those questions first.
This one is an interesting, very detailed question by none other than Atta Narin. His question is, which faction is the most technologically advanced within the 40K universe?
That's extremely debatable.
It is, because at first thought you would think, well, the Tau, right? They got battle suits, they got AI. Who comes close to that? But when you really think about it, they're such a young race and they've advanced so much in such a short period of time that you actually have to take a step back and look at all the other factions. Because when you look at the Eldar, they're ancient. Their technology is different than what you'd expect when you think of like futuristic sci-fi, because their technology has to do so much with like the warp and psychic powers. They've got like wraith constructs, the infinity circuit, and it's like, well, technically that is more advanced because they've had more years to build it up. But is it better?
Yep. So I guess it depends on your definition of technology. If you want to think of technology and include things that like are completely out of the realm of technology to us nowadays, where like we would look at that and be like, well, no, that's magic.
Yeah.
Then I would have to give it to the Necrons.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now that I think about it,
look at the Necron tech. It's so vastly different than anything else.
they have figured out how to disconnect that like magical craziness that 40K calls warp energy from like a living human, because that's what's happening with the Pariah Nexus.
Right.
It's basically all the humans there are just empty shells, and like they're being disconnected from, like their souls being disconnected from the Imperium, and yeah, like that's it's technology, straight up technology that they're using.
Yeah. Look at their bodies. It's not even just metal. It's freaking living metal. Self-repairing metal.
Even though technically that's what our cells are.
That's true. That's us. We are the Necrons.
Yeah,
we actually have souls, so beat that.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing with the Imperium. Their technology was so crazy and outlandish during the dark ages of technology that it pretty much imploded in and on itself.
Yep.
It's like humanity had everything going for them to the point where we became lazy and overindulgent, and that led to the what's that time called after the Dark Age?
Oh, the Age of Strife.
Age of Strife and the Reign of Blood and all that. And yeah, I mean, I guess you could say in terms of technology based on humanity, then yeah, the Imperium has really great tech.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they don't understand all of it, which is why they're trying to find STCs, which is really important tech from back then.
Yep. So yeah, like we said in the beginning, it's very debatable.
Even orc technology, even though it seems like it's just like, ooh, a screw, ooh, a piece of wood, let me tape it together, and it's like a huge like Geller field now.
But the orc itself is also like an extreme version of technology because it was created by an intelligent life form. It's not like it was an evolution.
Right.
It was just like the old ones basically sat down and were like, let's biologically engineer these things to just know how to build things. So that's pretty like they themselves are like the best AI because they're alive, so they're not artificial. So yeah.
Yeah, it's you can take it any which way you want.
Nids too.
Yeah.
Because we don't know.
They're just biomass that's been engineered to become an apex predator and just keep evolving and eating. And yeah,
Maybe. But that's what's cool about them. You don't know if it's artificial or if it was natural selection. Or
True.
Jesus.
Mi tío Jesus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Jim Dighton. Were these clown sightings actually Harlequins?
Oh, don't even
That's
bring
so
them
old.
up. Yeah.
I wonder if that's going to happen again this year.
I mean, it's the month, isn't it? I haven't seen any clowns.
Is trick-or-treating going to be a thing this year?
Yeah. At least that's what they've said. It's still going on. You still got to wear your mask and whatnot, but it's happening.
Seems kind of dangerous because aren't like kids vectors? Like, aren't they just like They're basically little nurglings that are walking around with the contagions.
That's true. That's why you got to keep your 6 feet distance between body and thing.
And the kid.
Mm-hmm. But no, you go ahead and take candy from that disease-infused nurgling.
Yeah, it's dangerous out there. Wait, did we answer this question? What was it?
Oh, are the
clowns? Harlequins. No, Harlequins are supposed to be elegant
and fast.
Those things were not.
Yeah, if we saw a Harlequin, it's because our heads were rolling on the floor and we're already dead.
I like that.
We just don't know it.
Yep.
This one's by Bunny Hop. What are your thoughts on the Silent King stat-wise? In general, hype / a letdown. Hype because it's great to see essentially the Emperor equivalent for the Necrons coming to the freaking tabletop. That is super great. If you're a Necron player, like, this is your time. And on top of that, he's got like 26 wounds. You've got the speakers. What is it? The Pharaon of the Blades and the Pharaon of the Stars. You got those menhirs that shoot a freaking strength 12 like weapon. He's really cool, but I think his plain design is what's making it a letdown for me. It's like you see him and he just looks like an overlord.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
I was very disappointed when it came out too. But stat-wise, though, you like it, right?
Yeah, stat-wise, I like it. Lore-wise, I can't wait to read the entirety of his lore. But I feel like we were kind of spoiled a little bit because it's very reminiscent to Katakros from the Age of Sigmar line. So it's kind of like they said, oh, here's Katakros. And then they kind of took that same blueprint and just made it Necron-y.
Yeah. They could have made it more muscular, too. That would have been nice. And he's an expensive boy, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Point-wise and money-wise.
Oh, how much is he price-wise?
I think he's like 200 something.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind then.
Or like at the minimum 160, but I think he's like up there.
Oh, wow. But it is like Necron. It's a Necron player's wet dream right now. Mm-hmm. And we know.
Because we have a Necron player.
And he's ruined the carpet.
We got to bring a mop every time it comes around.
Next question comes from ATA Naren. Which faction is the most... Oh, no. Yeah.
That was the
main one.
Yeah. Lord Devilfish.
Yeah.
What D&D monster would be cool additions to the Warhammer or 40K? I wouldn't mind having some beefed up mind flayers emerging from the Xeno or a Chaos Empire that are secretly puppeteering other races in the galaxy.
I really like trolls.
Mm-hmm.
I wish like somehow you could include trolls into some type of faction.
Like the dolls with the hair?
No, the trolls, the ones that live under the bridge and that they mutate and everything.
Oh,
so
the one that I gotta pay the troll toll to get inside.
Basically, yeah, you gotta like either give him some type of riddle that like breaks his brain, or like just give him a child. Yeah.
But they do have trolls in Age of Sigmar, though.
Age of Sigmar, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it would be such a... I don't like the Age of Sigmar trolls, the ways they look. But it would be really cool to get a technologically advanced troll that somehow is connected to the Underhive, because trolls are supposed to be like mutants, kind of. They mutate based on whatever they consume. Like the Kroot, kind of.
Yeah. For me, it would be definitely Kraken. Because we already have Kraken in Fenris. Now, if they could bring that out and make it some like big beast that you have to have like the space wolves fight against, would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it would. The problem with the D&D characters, though, it is that like they are designed to stand alone. So it's hard to implement them into a certain faction. Yeah. Especially when every single faction seems to be really xenophobic. Not just the Imperium, but like every faction, except for the town.
Right. They're xenophobic if you don't agree with the greater good.
Yeah.
Ricardo Gray, is there any way that the Imperium can win 40K?
Of course. Kill most of humanity, because that is feeding chaos.
But it's like you're shooting yourself in the foot. But at the same time, at least you'll have the rest of your body left.
Yeah.
Whatever is left. But yeah, the Cabal tried doing this during the Heresy. They failed. But yeah, definitely the Imperium has to be more efficient, more strategic, I guess.
I feel that this is one of those situations, like the big game of like the Imperium or the Emperor is the same situation as what happened in the last movie for the Marvel series or whatever, where like Doctor Strange tells, is it Iron Man, like, we have to do it this way, and like basically it meant like you're gonna have to die.
Right.
They knew that, so it's one of those same things where like the Cabal talked to the Emperor, or like the Emperor talked to Alfarius or Omegon, and it was like, I'm gonna have to die in order for us to do this. So I think like there is like an end game for the Emperor that he's probably not happy about, just like Tony Stark's probably not happy that he's gonna die. But yeah. Wait, did he know that he was gonna die?
No.
Oh.
But he knew, like, the whole thing was like, there's only one way that we're gonna win this, and like Doctor Strange knew it, but he couldn't tell him exactly what had to happen. And like little by little, Tony Stark was like, "Oh, this is it. I gotta do this." So in a way, he knew he had to be the one to do the snap. So in a way, he knew he had to die.
Oh, like eventually, like, yeah. Because I think that's what's happening with like not just even the Emperor, but also like what's his name?
Oh, by the way, spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, Cypher too. I think Cypher knows a little bit more than he leads on.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like 40K has a lot of like loose ends that I want to see them like grow to fruition. But at the same time, does that mean that they'll never cover that aspect again? Like, let's say we find out exactly what Cypher's all about. Does that mean they'll never touch on that character again because his storyline is now complete?
Yeah. Or not really, but they'll just like do bullshit like they did with what's his name? The dude from the Ultramarines.
Sicarius?
Not Sicarius, the other one.
The chapter master?
Yeah.
Oh, when he became Primaris?
Because now like
Calgar?
Guilliman is here. Why do I care about Calgar if Guilliman is here? And I think it's one of those situations where like you want something to come to fruition because you're curious, but then afterwards it's just kind of like, I'm not gonna watch the next couple movies. So, and I think that's why I would never want to find out what Cypher is up to, because I don't want this to ever end. I want to keep playing 40K until I die.
Be it tomorrow or 30 years from now.
Yeah.
Hopefully not 30 years.
Maybe even in November or after November. Next question.
This one's by Simon. Just Simon. What if the old ones created the Tyranids to cleanse the Milky Way for their return from the dark space outside?
That's what I've been saying this entire time. I'm surprised I haven't created a 40 facts video on it. I thought I did. But yeah, that's my thing. Oh, I did. Check out our 40 facts on where are the old ones now. I explain it. That I guarantee you that is what is happening. Hopefully, maybe. I don't know.
My quick answer, I don't think so, just because why would they make the Eldar and the Orcs if they're just going to cleanse it anyway? Why not just let the races that are already there just go at it?
Well, because I think they did, because that's what the Necrons thought would happen, and obviously it didn't. Because it was like, let's go on our great sleep, they're going to kill each other, we'll be fine, the enslaver plague is going to go away. Then they wake up and they're like, oh shit, turns out these guys got stronger. Next question.
This one is by Connor Mottsinger. If the High Lords of Terra are so corrupt and constantly fighting for power, why hasn't Guilliman done anything about it? He's too busy, bro. He's got to lead the freaking armada against Chaos. Chaos has been gnawing and chewing at the edges of Imperial space for too long, and Guilliman has to focus on one thing at a time.
Yeah, also, the Imperium is so massive and so complex that it kind of, like, is a living thing on its own. Like, it's self-sufficient, kind of. So, like, even if you get rid of the figurehead, which are the High Lords, like, it's still going to function.
Yeah.
Because of, like, all the other Adepta, and because just that's the way things work.
Eventually, you'll get another High Lord, or you'll get somebody else in power who lets power get to their head, and it's just, like you said, it's a cycle. Yeah,
just like what's happening right now. Sometimes you look at, well, after we looked at debates, we're like, Biden, Trump, damn, they don't know shit. But then it's like, the government's fine. Like, we're fine. And it's just because it's so massive, and it's just like, somebody's going to pick up the slack eventually.
Whether it's Bill Nye, the science guy, or Bridget B.
It's always Bridget B. This question comes from Lord Devilfish. What Warhammer fantasy faction would you like to have a 40K equivalent? If you want to hear my... No, I don't. I'm just kidding. If you want to hear my answer, they're down below. Sure, I'll read your answer. My answer would be either the lizardmen or the dragons. A lizardman faction would be interesting to the Imperium of Man. Both wants to destroy chaos. Both are very theocratic, with the God Emperor of Man for humanity and the Slan for the lizardmen. However, what would separate them is their view of Xenos. Lizardmen want to protect the Old One creations, such as the Eldar, through regulation and strategic planning, while the Imperium would want to exterminate all the others. For dragons, they act as a neutral warp faction that could help the forces of order or of chaos. I didn't even know dragons were a thing in Age of Sigmar. Did you?
Well, I mean, what do you call them? The Sigmarines, whatever they're called. They ride dragons. You got like star drakes and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I get what you mean then. That would be kind of cool.
For me, it's one of two. Well, I guess technically three. Sylvaneth, tree people, to have like a race that's actually more in tune with like nature and stuff like that. That doesn't have to do with like the warp or anything. Besides that, the Ideneth Deepkin, because it's an aquatic race, finally bringing water to 40K. And I think the third one, which would probably make the most sense and be the easiest transition, Skaven.
Yeah, I would want Skaven as well. Skaven are pretty cool just because they are so chaotic.
Yeah.
But not. Well, they're kind of like Tyranids. Damn.
They're similar to Tyranids, but trashy.
Trashy.
This one's by Blah Blah. Aside from traitor Primarchs, who would be able to directly challenge Guilliman in single combat and actually have a chance of beating him, if there's any? Hands down, the Catan. Like, these are literal star gods.
I don't know, because Lorgar beat the shit out of that one Catan, didn't he?
Well, he beat an avatar of Cain.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Never mind.
But at the same time, like, I think Cato Sicarius took down a Catan by throwing one of those void grenades.
Oh, yeah.
Because that is their weakness. They're severely weak against warp powers. And Guilliman's got the freaking sword of the Emperor, so...
Any librarian, too, would just be like...
Well, not just one librarian. I feel like it takes, like, a conclave or something.
Grey Knights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Grey Knights can take them down.
Yeah.
But, yeah...
I don't think, like, honestly, like, it's one of those situations where it's very difficult to talk about how powerful a certain named character is.
Because they're named characters. They got
have
plot armor.
Plot armor. So, like, you could throw anything, and it's just going to be like, no, there's a way that they could either kill Guilliman or Guilliman can survive it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it doesn't even make sense. Like, fucking Mortarion and Keldor Drago.
Yeah.
That's one of the most annoying stories.
And then he's got a part 2 as to who's currently the single most powerful entity in the 40K universe at the moment that isn't a Chaos God or a Catan. The Emperor, if he's not turning into a god.
Yeah, because like you're not gonna kill him.
Right. I mean, he's powerful in a sense that he's still alive in his like half-dead state. He's powering the Astronomicon. He's gifting miracles to the Sisters of Battle and whatnot. But at the same time, like, you can just go up to him and like kick him.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't, but yeah.
You can't, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Because you have to go to Terra, get through the Adeptus Custodes, and I'm pretty sure the Emperor himself can still do something.
Probably lick you.
Mm-hmm. If he's still got a tongue.
Yeah, that probably goes away right away. After the decomposing kicks in. This question comes from John McHugh. How does the Forces of Chaos acquire new arms and armor? Do they just steal, or do they have a way of fabricating it? Yeah, both. Mm-hmm. The best part is the looting and the stealing, and that's just like that's the bread and butter of like what a Chaos Warband should be. They're supposed to be marauders, corsairs, just evil people. But yeah, they can also make deals with the
Dark Mechanicus.
Yep, and then they build stuff for them.
And they're like, mira, me traes a mi tío, and I'll give you 2 lowriders.
Yes. Or they'll kidnap El Tío, and then they'll slowly like send parts of his body to the Dark Mechanicus until the lowriders arrive. Mm-hmm. Which seems like a lot for lowriders. I would not kidnap someone just to get a lowrider.
But it's 2 lowriders.
Oh, then in that case. Next question.
This one is by. We already covered that one.
Those were the questions for today. Thank you guys for sending those questions our way. If you guys have more questions, comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening. Enjoy, whatever it is that you're doing while you're listening to us ramble about nonsense.
Yeah, hopefully it's painting, because have you seen those Necron codices and Space Marine codices? You need to get some models painted so you can feel them.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, that's all we got for today.
For sure.
Sound Alchemist. We'll see you in the next one.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.